Have you ever shouted at the TV during a match thinking, "That's a penalty," only for the ref to call play on? Or watched a professional knock the ball forward and somehow not get penalised for a deliberate knock-on? Yeah, you're not alone, because even the guys getting paid to play the game, World Cup winners, international captains, front row enforcers, still get it wrong. In this video, we're breaking down rules that even the pros misunderstand, and more importantly, we'll explain why they get them wrong, and how you can spot the difference between a fair call and a foul one. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a coach, a longtime fan, or someone just trying to sound smarter at the pub, understanding these laws will not only level up your rugby IQ, it'll also change the way you watch the game. Because rugby is full of grey areas, and in a sport where inches matter, the smallest misread can flip a match on its head. From maul collapses and offside traps, to ruck timing and the mysterious 50-22, these are the law book traps that catch out even test-level players. Let's decode them one by one. The maul. When can you legally collapse it? Let's kick things off with one of the most misunderstood phases in rugby union. The maul, it looks like chaos. It sounds like chaos, but the laws around it are surprisingly precise. Picture this. The defending team is backed up against their own try line. The attacking side wins a clean line out, sets up a textbook maul, and begins to drive. The crowd holds its breath, and then the maul collapses. Penalty? Turnover? Play on? Even at the top level, players still get this wrong. Here's what the law actually says. Once a maul is formed, which means a ball carrier is held up by at least one teammate and one opponent, all on their feet, intentionally collapsing it is illegal. It's considered dangerous play and almost always results in a penalty. But there are exceptions. If the maul has become stationary, the referee may call use it. At that point, if the attacking side fails to move the ball, defenders can legally bring the maul to ground, provided it's done safely and without dragging players down. So next time a maul hits the turf, ask yourself, was it a smart counter or just a desperate gamble that backfired? Understanding this rule alone will help you read the momentum swings that can define an entire match. Scrum offences, binding, angles, and early shoves. There's no phase of play more feared, misunderstood, or debated than the scrum. 8 players, all pushing with force and technique, and somehow nobody agrees on who caused it to collapse. But refs usually do, and that's where the law book kicks in. A common mistake at all levels, even test rugby, is incorrect binding. Props must bind on the opponent's body or jersey, not on the arm, not on the shorts, and definitely not slipping off during engagement. It's not just about legality, it's about safety. An illegal bind can cause the whole scrum to destabilise. Then there's the issue of angles. If a prop bores in, meaning they angle their drive inward toward the hooker instead of straight ahead, that's an instant penalty. Yet we see it all the time, even from international tight heads trying to gain a psychological edge. And finally, early shoves. Players who engage or drive before the set call are not just breaking the law, they're risking collapse. Refs are told to be strict here, especially at the elite level. So next time the whistle blows at scrum time, it might not just be guesswork. Watch the bind, the angle, and the timing. They often tell the full story. Quick lineouts. When are they actually legal? Quick lineouts can flip a match in seconds. A clever winger grabs the ball, throws it in immediately, and suddenly the defense is scrambling. It's one of the most exciting ways to catch your opponent off guard. But the truth is, most quick lineouts you see, especially at amateur level, should never be allowed. There are very specific criteria that need to be met. First, the ball must not have been touched by anyone else after it went into touch. That includes players, water carriers, ball boys, even the referee. If anyone other than the thrower touches it, the quick line-out is off the table. Second, the player must use the same ball that went into touch. Swapping it out for another, even if it's identical, is illegal in a quick throw. That's a big one many players and fans overlook. Third, the throw must go straight or backwards. Throwing it forward even slightly is against the law. And yes, referees are watching for it. Finally, the line-out can't happen if the referee has already arrived and signalled for a formal line-out to begin. So while quick throws can be a deadly weapon, they're tightly regulated. Get one detail wrong, and that sneaky counter-attack turns into a whistle and a reset. Ruck formed equals no hands. This is one of those rules that players think they understand until they get pinged for it. Here's the scenario. A tackle happens, a jackal goes in, hands on the ball, perfect technique. But the ref blows the whistle. Penalty at the breakdown. Confused looks all around. So what went wrong? The answer usually comes down to ruck timing. Once a ruck has formed, meaning the ball is on the ground and at least one player from each team is in contact over the ball, all on their feet, no one is allowed to use their hands to play the ball. Even if a defender was initially on the ball legally, the moment the ruck forms around them, they must release and clear out. If they keep holding on, it's a penalty for hands in the ruck. This happens often with jackals who get there early but stay on the ball for too long, misjudging when the ruck has officially begun. It's a split-second call, and referees are watching it like hawks. So next time you see a player penalized at the breakdown, look closely. It's not always about what they did, it's when they did it. In rucks, timing is everything. The tackle versus the ball carrier going to ground. This next one catches out players at all levels, because on the surface it seems obvious. A ball carrier hits the deck. Surely that's a tackle, right? Not necessarily. Under World Rugby's laws, a tackle only occurs when the ball carrier is held by one or more opponents and brought to ground. That word, held, is crucial. If the ball carrier dives, slips, or is knocked off balance and goes to ground without being held, it's not considered a tackle. So what does that mean in practical terms? It means that no ruck has formed and technically the ball carrier can get back up and keep running. And it also means that defenders can't immediately jackal or play the ball as if it were a post-tackle scenario, at least not until a ruck is actually formed with contact from both teams. This often confuses defenders who dive in expecting to contest the ball, only to concede a penalty. You'll even see it at international level, players reacting as if a tackle occurred, only to realise too late that it wasn't legally won. So the next time someone hits the ground, don't assume a tackle has been made. Watch for the hold. That's what makes all the difference. Deliberate knock-on. It's not just about dropping the ball. A knock-on looks simple. The ball slips forward from a player's hands. But when does it become deliberate? That's where things get tricky. In rugby law, a deliberate knock-on is when a player intentionally knocks or pushes the ball forward, usually to gain an advantage, for example to stop an opponent's pass or to catch a loose ball. But here's the kicker: if a player genuinely tries to catch the ball and accidentally loses it forward, that's not deliberate, even if it results in a knock-on. Refs are trained to look for intent. Was the player making a credible attempt to catch or control the ball, or were they simply pushing it forward to gain territory or possession? At the professional level, the difference can be razor thin. You might see a player reach out and seemingly bat the ball forward, but if the ref believes it was an honest attempt to catch, play goes on. This rule keeps the game flowing and rewards skill, but it's also one of the most misunderstood laws, leading to some of the most controversial moments in rugby. So next time you see a knock-on called or waved off, think about the player's intent. That's what the referee is judging. Offside at the kick. Timing is everything. All right, let's kick things off, literally. One of the most misunderstood rules in rugby union is offside at the kick in open play. You may think it's straightforward. If you're in front of the kicker when the ball's struck, you're offside. But it's the how and when you can get back onside that trips even seasoned pros. First up, being offside happens the moment you're ahead of your teammate who kicks the ball. That's Rule 10.1, and until you're onside, you cannot play the ball, tackle, or interfere. Now, how do you regain eligibility? There are two main paths. You must fall behind the kicker or another teammate who was onside at the kick and runs past you. Or in some cases, until mid-2024, an opponent catching and running or passing could put you back onside. But that's changed. As of 1st July 2024, World Rugby eliminated that loophole to kill those endless kick tennis rallies. So here's where things heat up. If you stay static, even by a meter, and chase the ball, the ref will blow you off. Yet if you anticipate, sprint past that imaginary line, then you're suddenly onside and can pounce. It's all about timing and intent, and that split second makes the difference between brilliance and a costly penalty. Advantage. When is it over, and can you still be penalised? A play on, two words that either bring excitement or total confusion. We're talking about the advantage law. And let's be honest, even players at the top sometimes don't fully understand when it applies and when it ends. According to Law 7, the idea of advantage is simple in theory. If one team infringes, the referee can let play continue if the other team may gain more from continuing than stopping the game. But in reality, it's anything but simple. There are two types of advantage: territorial, when your team gains significant ground despite the foul; tacticals, when your team gains a clear attacking opportunity, e.g. quick hands after a knock-on. So when is it over? That's entirely at the referee's discretion. The moment they deem you've had a fair opportunity, or you've botched it, they'll call advantage over. But here's the kicker: you can still be penalized during advantage if your own side infringes before the ref blows the whistle. Advantage doesn't give you a free pass to cheat or be reckless. Also, if your team kicks the ball away during advantage, that's usually considered accepting it, so no going back. In short, advantage is a window, not a free-for-all. Respect it, and you might turn a penalty into a try. Playing the ball on the ground. What's actually legal? Right. Let's clear up one of the most frustrating grey areas for players and fans alike. Playing the ball while on the ground. Whether it's in a ruck, in the tackle, or at the try line, this rule causes more head-scratching than almost any other. So here's the key principle: if you're on the ground, you're usually out of the game, unless you're doing exactly what the law allows. Let's start with after a tackle. If you're the ball carrier and you're brought to ground, you must release the ball immediately and either place, pass, or release it without crawling, rolling, or holding on. Law 14, World Rugby. You can reach out to score a try, but only in one continuous movement. Anything resembling a second effort is a double movement and likely to be penalized. Now, if you're not the ball carrier and you go to ground, for instance diving on a loose ball, you must release it if a ruck forms, and you cannot play it again while still on the ground. That includes things like flipping it back, shielding it, or delaying the opposition. So yes, playing the ball on the ground can be legal, but only within tight margins. Get it wrong and you'll hear that whistle every time. Not releasing the ball. Who has to let go and when? If you've watched even 5 minutes of rugby, you've heard it. Not releasing. It's one of the most common penalties in the game, and one that confuses casual fans and players alike. So who exactly has to let go? Short answer: everyone. Long answer: let's break it down. According to Law 14, once a tackle is made and both players go to ground, the ball carrier must immediately release the ball. They can do this by placing it back, passing it, or letting go completely, but no rolling, no holding on, and no trying to milk a few extra seconds. The tackler, that is, the player who brought the ball carrier to ground, must release the tackled player and get back to their feet before playing the ball. Now here's where it gets messy. If the tackler doesn't release, the ball carrier is trapped and can't release. But if the ball carrier holds on just a second too long, it's still a penalty. Refs don't care about who had the better excuse. Timing is everything. Referees are looking for clear, immediate actions. Hesitation, even half a second, can result in a whistle. So next time you're in the breakdown, ask yourself, am I the one who needs to let go right now? Which of these misunderstood rugby rules do you see tripping players up the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, there's plenty more rugby videos in the works. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching Rugby Decoded.